It's crack-a-lackin', everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you that celebrate. I don't think this is going to get released on Thanksgiving, but if it is, happy Thanksgiving. Today, I am doing an update to my In the Bag for 2025. We're coming up to the end of 2025. Excuse me, I just ate dinner. I had chicken, sweet potatoes, mash, had some stuffing, had some biscuits and gravy. Anyways, In the Bag 2025. Let's see what we're rocking with to end this year, possibly to begin next year. So we're gonna jump right into it. I'm still using the same bag as always, the Ezra Squatch. But we have two different putters this time. We're not putting with the Lunas anymore. We're putting with the Birdie all-weather blend marbles. The reason being, I haven't been putting well since about middle of last year. And I've been trying to make it work with the Luna. It stuck with me the whole way since the beginning of my disc golf career. I tried to stick with it, and finally I made a decision about a month and a half ago. No more. About a month ago, no more. Gotta try something different. So I went to the marbles, which I tried with previously, experimented. I like the way they feel better than the Luna. They just didn't click with me quite well before, but now they're clicking really well. So I'm going with the marbles into the winter season, all-weather season, all-weather putter. So that's that. I also got this orange one here, just to have a third putter. I never really use it, but it's there. If I want to do an extra bit of putting practice, maybe I want to throw a little bit, I can use that. We'll get into my throwing putters now. I've got two at the moment, but I think one of them is probably on the chopping block. That's the Lasso. I might have, this might have been in the bag previously. Long story short on this one, it's in the bag for like that straight to stable finish. It's like in between a throwing putter, like this Luna here, and a Zone. It's a little glidier than the Zone. I can manipulate a little bit better, but I don't throw putters too often just because there's not a need to. I don't play, for all the courses that I play, I don't do that too much, but it's there if I need it. But it's not one that I think is guaranteed to stay in the bag for too long. I always mix around with those putters. North Cove Luna. Great feeling plastic. Lunas are a hard disc to throw accurately, but once you get it down, it's a great throwing putter. This disc is going to stay in the bag for a while because I want to make it work, and it's going to work. It's going to work. That's my straight throwing putter. And as for my two approach discs, I've got basically two zones here. I've got my AB zone, which has been in the bag since 2023. It's a little over 2 years now. It's one of the long-standing discs in the bag as of right now. It's a little beat in compared to when it started, obviously. Still stable, though. Still works for what I want it to do. It's going to stay in the bag for now. But if I want a more beat-in comparison, I throw the Jawbreaker zone. And what this disc is great at is the forehand Anheuser turnover approach shots. Get around trees, so on and so forth. It's great backhand as well. The Jawbreaker zone is a super underrated disc. However, it's getting some competition soon. I just bought Zone SS. It's a new disc. It's going to give some competition for that spot in the bag. We'll see what works out. I think the Zone SS might be a better disc to throw backhand, but there's a chance that it might not make it into the bag and that the Jawbreaker zone is going to stay in the bag. So that's all my throwing putters, my approach discs. I've tried to slim down on my bag options as of recently. I want to keep the game very straightforward for myself. I don't have a lot going on. You can see a lot of discs behind me here, trying to lower the amount there into the mid-ranges. And we'll start with another great disc, Pyro. Pyro's been in the bag since like 2022. I want to say is when I started bagging the Pyro. This is a newer one that I bagged as of August of last year when I went to Smuggler Notch. Shout out to that, great disc golf courses up there. Overstable, it's great. You guys know the deal. The Pyro is a staple in my bag. It's great for forehand up to 300. It's great for forehand approaches. If I don't want to use a zone, I can use something like this. It's so versatile. I love throwing it. It's a great disc, forehand and backhand. It's known as a forehand disc. I like throwing it backhand too. I've got two mid-ranges in the bag, and they're both from Castaplast. I got a Cax and a Cax Z. This is a K1 soft. This is just a K1 line. They're both part of this like last run color. The Cax basically, and these discs are a little dirty because I just played yesterday in the rain, so I'm going to try not to make too much of a mess here, but long story short on the Cax and Cax Z, Cax is like a buzz. Sorry for the pause there. Had someone interrupt me. But to continue on what I was talking about just now, so I have the Cax and the Cax Z. The Cax is more like my buzz. It's a straighter, glidier buzz. It is very point and shoot. where if you throw it straight, it's going to go straight, maybe a little bit of turn, but it's going to fight back a little bit. I love it. It's a better hand feel than the Buzz. The plastic is grippier than a Buzz, so that's why I throw it over like a Buzz equivalent or a Mako 3, for example. And then the Cax Z is a little bit flippier, also can go quite a bit further too. I think the Cax Z is a 6-speed. I think it's in between. It could even be a 7-speed. I prefer it to something like an Origin, for example. I have them 2 in the bag. The Cax gets thrown way more than the Cax Z does. The Cax Z really doesn't get thrown all that much. And that's because I've had a Tarsus that has been in and out of the bag. It's my flippy option. I don't throw Anheuser's too well. It's not my natural throw. So I used to have the Tarsus because I could hyzer flip to turn it or throw it flat and get it to turn. I haven't been having shot shapes like that too often that I need it for. So I took it out of the bag and hoping maybe the Cax Z will be good enough where if I can learn to put a little bit of Anheuser on my shot, I can just use that disc instead. So that's why those are in the bag. And now let's talk about fairways. And I'm just going to kind of pick them out as I go, right? So understable 7-speed here is a prototype, which I got used. I didn't buy it as a prototype. Brave 7-speed from Latitude 64. This thing is awesome. I love it. I've just been in the bag for about a year now. Fantastic disc. It throws like a 9-speed or even like a 10-speed. It goes super far. I can probably throw this thing about 360, 365. It flips up and turns pretty well. It can hold a line if you need it to. It's just a great disc. It's so versatile. It's effectively removed the flippy 9-speed roller type disc out of my bag because I don't throw rollers really, but it goes far enough to where I don't need another fairway that's faster that can do the same job, although I'm experimenting with it a little bit. So that's that disc. And then step up from that, I would probably say is my Birdie Color Glow Strike. I would say there's no disc that I've experimented with in a particular slot too much more than that neutral 7-speed. I've had the Strike in the bag. I had a regular Strike in the bag for a while. I've experimented with different Athenas in the bag for a while, but recently I dropped a 6-claw Athena to go back to the Strike. Not only does it go further than the Athena for me, but it's also a more predictable flight path. It's straighter. I can also get some turn on it if I really pump on it, but if I put it on hyzer, it's just going to stand up and glide along that line, which is a very common like wooded line, for example. So I'm really liking this Color Glow Strike. I think it's a phenomenal disc. This is one I think is going to end up being in the bag for quite a while. It's been in and out of the bag for the last 2 years, but I think this is a mainstay now. I'm loving the way it flies. It's decent on a forehand too. Other discs, I guess a step in a different direction. So this would be, I'll go up to this disc instead. So kind of filtering out along that low fairway speed would be my XXX, which has been in the bag for about 1.5 years now. I got this at a disc golf store in Raleigh, used. And that's kind of a theme here. A lot of my discs I bought used, which is crazy because I've bought so many new discs, and yet it is the used ones that always seem to find a way to make the bag. XXX is no different. Super overstable 5-6 speed. Think of it as a slightly faster Pyro, but more stable. It's a little bit more meat hooky than a Pyro. It's a lot less, you can throw this on some more aggressive angles than a Pyro, put it that way. It's a lot more torque resistant than a Pyro. I don't throw it on backhand too often. It's really a forehand disc. I probably throw it in that like 250 to 275 range. Maybe I can get a little bit further, but I try not to. It's a great disc. It's out of production, but it's a great disc. I'd highly recommend it if you ever have the opportunity to throw something like that. In terms of a step up from that, I've got a few discs in here. Like I've got this Sagara in here right now. It's kind of like the more stable complement to my Strike. In between the Strike and like that XXX. Doesn't really get thrown too much. It's just a placeholder in the bag at the moment. I don't even know if it's going to be in the bag long term. It's just kind of sitting there until I find something to do with this slot. If I even need the slot. I don't even know that I need that slot in the bag. So it's just kind of sitting there right now. I highly doubt it's going to be in the bag, but you never know. You never know. Oh, my head. Next slot. We're going to go a step up here in terms of speed. I've got a few discs in that 9-speed category, quite a few. It's a speed that I feel very comfortable throwing. I dare say it might be my favorite speed to throw at the moment. What other discs do we have in here in that category? Just those, okay. So for my super overstable 9-speed, I've got this cap wrap that's been in the bag forever. It's been in the bag for just about 2 years now. Used again, bought it used from a friend. Great disc, super overstable meat hook, skip shots, spike hyzers, forehands, all that. Never going to leave the bag unless I lose it, really. The complement to that next up would probably be my Madio. Madio has almost been lost a few times, but it stays in the bag. I've had that one for 2.5 years, since beginning of 2023. This one I did get brand new. Great disc. It's the Firebird complement. The like Firebird. I like it better. The hand feels great. The plastic is great. So that disc, again, I don't find myself throwing it all too often these days as my arm speed goes up. But I would say in that, again, that 270 to 300 range, maybe a little more on a forehand. Then I've got this Halo Thunderbird, which has not been thrown too well for me recently. There might be some competition there coming up, going into next year. Just trying to hear if there's people around me. It's a little embarrassing to be doing this. Halo Thunderbird, again, sorry, another delay. We're back to the Halo Thunderbird. This is a disc that has been, this Thunderbird's been a staple in my bag for a long time. This one's been in my bag since I lost my green one about 1.5 years ago at Iron Hill in Delaware. Bought this brand new, perfect replacement. We've talked about it before. This disc, probably not leaving the bag anytime soon, but there's a special disc that I'm thinking about having to compete with going into next year. So we'll take a look at that and see what happens. But that's old reliable, just like this one, the Halo S Blend Dynasty. This is a slightly less stable complement to the Thunderbird, whereas the Thunderbird, you're throwing that on kind of flex lines if you were to throw that, or just flat and have it be really stable with a finish. This is the 9-speed turnover forehand disc. Throwing a distance driver on aggressive Anheuser turnover forehand lines is always a major risk. Number one, because there's a lot of possibility that it'll just get stable and fade out quickly, but also because you have to throw it really hard to get the flight that you want. This is just it's 9-speed, so you don't have to throw it so hard. This is an OG in the bag. This one in particular is not the OG. It is an OG, but it's still the OG. That's the Dynasty. The Halo Dynasty has been in the bag for, I want to say, almost 3 years now. So that's an OG in the game. Get a little bit less stable. I've got a Champion Viking. This is another used disc. This disc, I mean, I don't know when it was manufactured. Probably in the mid to late 2000s at some point, but there's no flight numbers on it. This is an old Innova disc. This thing's awesome. I love it. It is a stand-up glide, about 365, 370 on a backhand. I don't really throw it on a forehand. It's a backhand disc, but it's like that dead straight 9-speed that you dream of having. The Viking is such an underrated disc. So I've been throwing Vikings since I started. That one's been in the bag for a little over 1 year now. Just a brilliant disc. And then I did lose my flippy 9-speed hatchet recently. So I threw this old, another used one, Greg Barsby Roadrunner, that I got for the Play It Against Sports website because it just looked pretty cool and I like throwing black. Again, this is another placeholder disc. I don't know if it's going to be in the bag long term, but it's there for now. We'll see what happens. It's not going to really have any competition per se. It's just, do I even need that slot? We're going to find out. So that's that. And then finally into the goodies of the group, the distance drivers, which as of right now, I think I have 4. Yeah, I think I'm carrying only 4 right now because I think these 4 get the job done. Most stable, Discmaniac Low Cloud Breaker. It's been in the bag since early this year. I want to say like February, March time is when this came out in the first place. It's a good disc. It's stable. It's pretty stable. It doesn't throw super far for me because it's not the most glidey disc. Maybe I can throw it maybe 350. I mean, I don't even really throw it much anymore because it hasn't been super windy. This is like a winter type of disc. You know, when it starts to get really windy, you get big headwinds. This is when you want to throw a disc like this. Otherwise, you know, unless I need to avoid OB or something, I'm probably going to throw that disc. But otherwise, I throw what right now is my big go-to disc, which is this Calvin Heimberg 2020 Destroyer. I got this used for $10 on the Maple Hill rack. Basically, I was looking for like water discs to throw at Maple Hill earlier this year in May, and I really couldn't find anything on the racks in the store that I wanted. And the guy at the desk, he said, "Oh, I got some discs. I got some more discs in the back. Let me see if there's something that you want there." Boom! $10. And I threw it on 15 gold, or is it 14 gold with the water? Beautiful disc. And I have to say, right now, this is probably the most reliable distance drive I've ever owned. You guys know I've owned Calvin Destroyers my entire disc golf career. I had the pink and black one, which was an OG in the game. And then I left it behind at a course, and I never saw it again. Then I was throwing a yellow one recently, a board flat Destroyer recently. I've been throwing Destroyers. I had a Ride for a little while, but I've always been a Destroyer guy, and this one is so good on backhand. If you throw it flat, get you a little bit of turn and a little bit of fade. I can probably throw it 420, 430 maybe. I can throw this on forehand, and it goes probably about $4. I mean, this is such a great disc. It's an unbelievable disc. Again, another used buy. Then we've got another used disc. I found this one, had no name on it. So I said, all right, well, I guess if nobody has a name on it, nobody can claim it. So I'm going to claim it. Nordic Phenom 4, Nicholas Antela DD3. This thing is a beautiful disc. It is a predictable flight. Can go a little bit further than that Destroyer because it's not quite as stable, but it's not flippy by any means. So this, if I just throw it hard and flat, it's going to give me a little bit of flight like this and a little bit of flight like this. This thing probably goes another 20 extra feet. So probably like pushing like 440-ish probably if I throw this really well. I just got it last week. I just found it last week, so I'm working it into the bag. But right now, by the way it's throwing, and it's used, which means it should hold this for a while. I mean, this is going to be a mainstay in the bag. And I'm so happy I found it because this last disc here, I bought this one at a store in Jacksonville for like $10. It's a 169 gram regular Star Destroyer. And on one of my first throws with this disc, beautiful story here, Four Palms disc golf course. Who's there? None other than the GOAT, Paul Macbeth. He's putting on hole 17 at Four Palms. I pull this out on, I think it's 15. It's a par 4 through the trees. 508 feet dead straight. A little bit of turn, a little bit of fade right in front of him. He looked at me and gave me that thumbs up. That's when I knew this disc was going to be goated. And this disc is awesome. This is an awesome disc. This has some of my max distance throws I've ever had. I've thrown this. If I get a good hold of this, I probably throw it about 450 to 465. I don't throw it on forehand because it's just not stable enough to handle a forehand. It's a little lightweight, so I don't throw it on forehand, but backhand. That's my bomber disc. That's my bomber disc. And yeah, that's my bag right now. I think there's a little bit of finicking around that could happen, but I mean, like I said, most of the discs in my bag here have been in the bag for a while and will continue to be in the bag for a while. And it's great because I'm starting to get my game back. I struggled a lot in 2025. My rating went down. My tournaments were bad. But I think now the putting's getting fixed and I have some good discs in my bag. Looking forward to a strong 2026 where I will update you probably at the Lake Marshall tournament in Virginia this next year. So if you're a fan, I'll see you there. Until then, guys, I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Enjoy disc golf. Take care. Brush your hair. Bye-bye.